Yes, what's going on, people? We're now active with the long form content, and today's subject of matter is Thomas Tuchel and Myles Lewis-Skelly. As you know, there's a lot going on in football at the moment. There's an international break, if you didn't know, and there's always some topic of discussion when there's an international break, especially with the World Cup approaching just next year, end of this season, and the pressure is on Thomas Tuchel. Listen, this is why they brought in a non-English manager so he could deliver the World Cup. It's been a long time, and I don't know, because he's made some questionable decisions, especially this camp, and this is what we're going to get into because there's a few players missing from the squad, notably Myles Lewis-Skelly, which I don't know whether I 100% agree. Do you know what? I don't know whether I agree with it at all because he's a young player. He's 19. He's around a successful squad at the moment. I say successful. They haven't won anything, but he's around a good environment. He's around a winning team. He's currently sitting top of the Premier League. I know they drew their last game. Felt like a loss, but it's still a winning environment. There's people. Everyone's happy there. And with what Thomas Tuchel said recently in his press conference for England, I'm not too sure. But anyways, let's listen to part of what he said.
Yeah, Myles was a very good teammate and played for us in last camp in the qualifier in Riga. So was Ruben Loftus-Cheek, so was Morgan Gibbs-White, so was James Trafford. But I said last time, there's also a component to it that it is about competition, it's about performance, and the door is always open for guys who perform on a regular level and on a high level. So yeah, Myles and Ruben Morgan Gibbs-White got outperformed from Nico, from Alex Scott, from Nick Pope, and from Jude.
Hold on. Slow down there. Right. Hold on. So he's talking about performance. This is what I don't understand here, and this could be a problem which the FA, I don't know whether they identified or not when bringing in Thomas Tuchel. Obviously, I feel like it's going to be a short-term appointment, so he's probably not thinking of the future. But Myles Lewis-Skelly is a 19-year-old. As I said to you, he's in a winning environment. You can't put him in the same category as these players playing for these other teams at the minute. There's a lot of pressure from just that press conference alone on Myles Lewis-Skelly and Arsenal because he's a young player, right? He's not starting in the Premier League, but he's starting in other competitions for Arsenal. We'll dive into his stats in just a moment, anyways, this season. But is it necessary pressure though? Because there's going to be speculation as there is now because of what Thomas Tuchel said, that there's pressure now for Arsenal to keep the player happy when either you play him or you offload him, not to sell him, but you loan him out, which that could potentially ruin his year, let alone his season. That could ruin his development. Where are you going to loan him to? A team that you don't even know if he's going to do well there. He's doing well in the Arsenal squad. It's competitive. Do you not want players to be competing for positions? And in my opinion, I don't understand, as an international manager, there's been a few that's done it as well, why you put players in the camp that you know you're not taking to a tournament. What is it about? Like, why are they in the squad? It confuses me because I know for a fact, out of every left back that England's got, and Myles Lewis-Skelly isn't even a natural left back, he's a midfielder, yeah? Centre midfielder, should I add. You are taking Myles Lewis-Skelly. So why is he not in the environment? This is a time to play Myles Lewis-Skelly. We've qualified. I believe we already qualified. I'm not even sure if these games coming up are friendly games, but we've already qualified. So why is he not in the squad? Get him some minutes here. Let him get minutes. Let him get a flow because his stats for England aren't even too bad. But as I said, we'll dive into the stats. Let's just finish off with what Thomas Tuchel had to say about the situation.
And in their positions, and yeah, door is always open. Myles simply needs more starts, more minutes. We selected him the last camps despite his position at Arsenal, but now came a time where Nico Riley had so many starts in his position, so he's slightly ahead for this camp. Yeah, Myles was a very
Right. So we're still talking about starts, minutes, etc. That's not necessary for me, especially if you're in a winning environment. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes you need them players. There's been impact players as well that, they've started, they've not quite been it. But when you bring them off the bench, they're serious. It doesn't mean you just don't bring the 19-year-old, especially, by the way, he's playing very well for England. Let's check his stats as it goes. While we're here, we'll check his stats. Yeah. Myles Lewis-Skelly, yeah. As you can see here, he made his debut in the England squad on the 21st of March, 2025. Right? He's played 6 games for England and got 1 goal. That's not a bad return for a defender at that age as well. I think he might have been 18 at the time. That's not bad. I think he's imposed himself on the position. I couldn't sit here and name off the bat how many players, English players, are better than him at left back, and he isn't even a natural left back. Let's check his Arsenal stats. Yeah, all right. I think these are the average minutes on the right. I'm not too sure, but across all competitions, Myles Lewis-Skelly has played 12 games, and he's got no goals, which is fair enough. Listen, he's a defender, but he's got 6 assists, right? So what that's telling me there is he's averaging a goal contribution every other game. What's wrong with that as a defender? Nah. I don't know about this. Listen, as a defender, as a young player, I'm not mad at his stats. I'm looking at his performances, and it's good. It's very good. 1 second. Hello. Yes, my bad, people. I had a phone call that completely threw me off. So, anyways, we're talking about the stats, right? The stats are not too bad as a defender, like what I said. But it's time to give him some confidence. Let him get some game time for England. I can't understand the decision making, the thought process behind this, to be fair. But there's a few things going around in the press now. Let's have a look at what the press are saying. Yeah, look. Right. We're looking at the Mirror, yeah? Arsenal star sent warning over World Cup spot by Thomas Tuchel as club's eye transfer. Right. Remember what I was saying when I said putting pressure, unnecessary pressure on the young player, Myles Lewis-Skelly, and the club as well, putting pressure on Arsenal. He started just 4 games this season, right? He's been favoured to be used in the Champions League. But like, here's the thing. Yeah. I'm gonna throw you guys a spanner in the work. He's talking about game time and minutes, yeah. What if Arsenal win the Premier League? It's the first time in a long time that Arsenal could potentially win the Premier League. They look favourites at the moment, but it's a long season. But they look favourites. What if he wins it? All right, cool. Let's just say for Thomas Tuchel's argument, he's not getting that much game time, that much minutes, that much starts. I say starts because he likes to use the word starts. All right. He's starting in the Champions League, yeah? What if Arsenal go on to win the Champions League? Then what? Okay, he barely played in the Premier League, but what if Arsenal go on to win the Champions League? What happens then? Do we not pick him because he hasn't been starting in the Premier League? Come on, this is what I mean. You got to think here. You got to take I think Thomas Tuchel needs to take his club hat off and understand this is international football. But you can't entirely blame him because the FA, they made this appointment. They knew what they was doing. The pressure was on by everybody, journalists, fans, everybody. The expectation on the England squad, I think, is potentially higher than the golden generation because England now have to deliver. They've been in finals. They've got right there. They've got close. Listen, Gareth Southgate got applauded for getting close. Thomas Tuchel is not going to get applauded for getting close, being a nearly man. He's not going to have that. The FA's brought in a winner for him to deliver the trophy. And I believe he's only going to have till next year. He's only going to have that World Cup. If he don't deliver, he's gone. I even think if he delivers, he's gone, by the way. I think he's gone. Objective complete. Even in his eyes, I feel like he's completed the objective if he delivers. But anyways, with the Myles Lewis-Skelly situation, don't put him in categories with the other players that he mentioned. He's talking about Morgan Gibbs-White. Cool. I know he started to pick up form recently. As soon as the international break starts to approach, he picked up form. I think Nottingham Forest have won their first back-to-back games of the season. There's been a lot going on at Nottingham Forest. There's been changes, new manager, and he's got a couple of goals now, which, it's not fair to drop him. Let's have it right. You still need to base off of England performances. As I said, Myles Lewis-Skelly, he's performed for you. He's performed for you, Thomas. He's come in the squad. He's performed. Morgan Gibbs-White has performed for you. Sometimes it's not always going right at club football, but it's not an individual game. It's a team game. If things are not working right, he should know. If the foundations ain't there in the club, if things are not running well, it affects the team on the pitch. But as I said, Morgan Gibbs-White started to pick up a bit of form. I think it's harsh dropping him. I think it's very, very, very harsh dropping Lewis-Skelly. Loftus-Cheek he mentioned as well. I think he's got about 9 appearances in the Serie A this season. I think he's got 1 goal, no assists. I don't really know. I don't follow too much football over there, but I don't know. If he's not, I don't know. There's a lot of competition in them positions, innit? And you don't really know whether he's going to be one. He's not going to be one for the future, is he? I think he's 30 now. He might even be, he's either 30, 29 or 30. So he's not going to be one for the future. But whereas Myles Lewis-Skelly, he is one for the future. Why is he not in the camp? Why is he not in the environment? Oh, I don't understand. But, yeah, the other players, as I said, when it comes to left back, don't tell me that certain men are getting minutes. So Lewis-Skelly's being left out because you ain't taking them over Lewis-Skelly. Lewis-Skelly plays. I can't think of a left back right now off the bat that's English and better than Lewis-Skelly. The only one who's close, what's the other guy? You got Hall. He's there whereabouts, but his consistency ain't there. You got Luke Shaw, fitness problems. And as you know, United, there's nothing more to say about that. But Lewis-Skelly, man, come on, man. I can't even say about consistency because I don't even think he deserved to be dropped from Arsenal. But the problem is when you're in a good environment, a good squad that's competing, that's the main thing, competing. Thomas Tuchel was talking about guys that are in teams that's competing to stay in the league. Lewis-Skelly's competing for a place for a team that's competing to win the league. Come on, man, there's levels. Put him in the squad. What you doing? What you playing at? And the thing is now, it's just a mess. Unnecessary pressure. And it's a long season. You don't even know now. If Arsenal go and loan him out, there's speculation that Nottingham Forest want to come in for him. As I said, that club's a mess. The owner's too vocal, in my opinion. You don't know what's going on over there. You don't know how that's going to play out. But say Arsenal loan out Lewis-Skelly, Calafiori gets injured, now it's a mess. Because what happens there? They're fighting for the league. You have to bring him back. It's just a mess. And I think it's unnecessary from Thomas Tuchel to put that pressure on a 19-year-old. But I don't know. You guys, let me know your thoughts on the situation. I'd love to hear it in the comment section. Remember, we love a debate here. It's a community love. Get everyone going. Like, share, comment, as I said, community love. and subscribe to the channel, man, because we're coming forward with this content. We're gonna be on everything that's popping off right now. Every discussion there should be. We're there on the short form. We got the funny videos. We got the say reactions, the analysis. We're there and abouts on the short forms, on TikTok, on the YouTube Shorts, Instagram. We're there. Follow us, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back on the next one. Peace.